Imagine growing up in a harsh desert surrounded by chaos and conflict, no power, no wealth, no fancy education, just raw life and survival. Then, out of nowhere, someone emerges with an unshakable vision, not for personal glory, but to change everything. This isn't about kings or conquerors, it's about a person who fought the odds, faced intense opposition, and transformed an entire world just by his ideas and sheer will. Think about what it takes to stand alone when everyone around you doubts you, ridicules you, even threatens your life. Yet, through relentless patience and a deep sense of purpose, this person doesn't just survive. He changes history, from preaching unity and compassion in a divided society to standing firm in the face of betrayal and war. It's a story of grit, resilience, and a mind that never wavered. And here's the kicker: no armies, no modern tech, just powerful words and an example so strong it still resonates thousands of years later. That level of influence, it's rare, it's legendary. The kind of life that makes you question everything you thought about leadership, courage, and purpose. So buckle up, because the story you're about to hear isn't just about one man. It's about the power of belief and the way one person's journey can shake the foundations of an entire civilization. Growing up in a place where resources are scarce and opportunities seem like a distant dream is a reality many face, yet very few rise above it. Starting from humble beginnings means waking up every day without guarantees. No silver spoon, no network, no safety net. Imagine living in an environment where survival itself feels like a battle, where each day demands resilience just to get through. But what if those very struggles, those early hardships, were the soil from which extraordinary strength grows? Think about a seed buried deep in rocky soil. At first glance, it looks hopeless, no sunlight, no clear path. But inside, the seed carries all the power it needs to break through, to reach upward against all odds. Your beginnings don't define your destination, but they shape the strength you carry within. When you have nothing but determination and a vision, you start building from the ground up. The grit developed from facing daily challenges becomes your fuel. Consider the person who starts without privilege, no fancy education, no inherited wealth, just raw willpower and a burning desire to change their reality. That kind of strength doesn't come from comfort. It's forged in the fire of hardship. It's easy to get caught up comparing yourself to those who had easier paths, but real power comes from the struggle to rise despite it all. In your life, maybe you faced rejection, maybe doors slammed shut. The question is, did you let that stop you? Or did you find a way to turn every no into fuel for the next step? This mindset is what sets apart those who make history from those who make excuses. Being born into humble circumstances isn't a weakness, it's a blank canvas. The story of greatness often starts not with privilege, but with purpose. It's the relentless pursuit of growth, learning, and impact, regardless of where you began. Think of the countless stories from everyday life where people had nothing but hope and a dream. A single mother working 2 jobs, a kid from a tough neighborhood grinding to get an education, someone who lost everything but rebuilt from scratch. Their beginnings may have been humble, but their hearts were anything but. When you understand this, your own challenges start to look different. The small failures, the moments of doubt, the feeling of being overlooked, these aren't setbacks. They're the foundation of resilience. Life will test you in ways that feel unfair, but every hardship is a secret lesson disguised as pain. If you embrace that, you become unstoppable. You learn to see value in your journey, not just the destination. This perspective changes everything. It's the difference between surviving and thriving. There's a powerful lesson here about identity and worth. Many people think their value depends on where they come from or what they have, but that's the biggest misconception. Real value lies in your response to your circumstances. No matter how humble your start, your mindset can elevate you. It's about cultivating an inner voice that says, may not have much now, but I have everything I need to create my future. This voice becomes your anchor when the storm hits. Think of the power in knowing that your beginnings are not a chain, but a springboard. You can use every tough moment as a lesson to sharpen your skills, deepen your empathy, and build your character. People with humble beginnings often develop an extraordinary ability to connect, to lead with humility and authenticity, because they've seen what it's like to struggle. This authenticity becomes magnetic. It draws others in and builds trust. That's a kind of power money can't buy. In your own life, recognize that Every setback can be a setup for a comeback. The lack of resources or recognition doesn't mean lack of potential. It means your path will be unique and your story will inspire others who feel stuck where you once were. It means your success will be a beacon that shows what's possible when determination meets opportunity. Remember, greatness doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It's created in imperfect moments by people who refuse to quit. There's a mind-blowing truth hidden in this reality. Sometimes starting with less is the greatest advantage. When you don't have a safety net, you learn to take bold risks, to innovate, to think outside the box. Comfort zones shrink and creativity expands. Humility teaches patience and struggle teaches perseverance. These qualities build a foundation far stronger than privilege ever could. Your humble beginnings aren't a story of lack. They're a story of potential. They're the origin of a journey that no one else can replicate because it's uniquely yours. Every small step forward, every challenge overcome, is proof that you have what it takes. Your story, like many others who started with nothing, is a powerful reminder that greatness comes not from where you begin, but from the fire within you that pushes you forward every single day. Holding on to unwavering conviction is one of the most powerful forces a person can possess. It's not just about believing in something when everything is easy or when people are applauding you. No, true conviction is tested when the world around you is falling apart, when doubt creeps in, when fear tries to paralyze you, when every voice seems to tell you to give up. It's in those moments that the strength of your belief becomes everything. Imagine a person standing alone in a storm, rain pounding down, thunder roaring, everyone else seeking shelter or running away. But this person stands firm, rooted in a deep, unshakable certainty about their purpose. They know what they believe in is not just a fleeting idea, but a guiding light, one that no storm can extinguish. That's what unwavering conviction looks like in real life. It's the difference between wavering and winning, between fading away and making history. Many people face moments in life when they have to decide, do I cave in to the pressure of the crowd? Or do I stand my ground, even if it means standing alone? It's easy to follow the path of least resistance, to bend with the wind, but real power comes from standing tall, even if that means walking a lonely road. It's in those moments of discomfort and isolation that your character is forged. Think about everyday examples. The student who wants to pursue a passion that no one else believes in, the entrepreneur who keeps pushing despite repeated failures, the athlete who trains through injuries and setbacks, or the person fighting against injustice when everyone else stays silent. All these stories share one thing, an unbreakable conviction that their cause is worth the struggle. This kind of conviction isn't born from arrogance or stubbornness. It's born from deep clarity and trust in your inner truth. It means you've looked fear in the eye and said, I know why I'm here, and nothing will shake me from this path. It's that inner fire that keeps you moving forward when external validation is absent, when the voices around you are filled with doubt or criticism. Many people never reach this level of conviction because they allow fear to dictate their actions. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being misunderstood. But the ones who change the world learn to use fear as fuel. They transform uncertainty into motivation. They wake up every day with a quiet but relentless voice inside that says, this matters. I matter. There's a mind-blowing reality here. Unwavering conviction gives you a kind of superpower. It gives you clarity in chaos and purpose in confusion. It keeps you anchored when the ground beneath your feet shakes. And when you live with this level of certainty, you become magnetic. People feel your energy, they sense your commitment, and they start to believe in your vision even before you say a word. In daily life, this might look like someone facing a career crossroads. Imagine you want to change your path completely, but everyone around you says it's risky, that you're crazy, that you should settle for what's safe. It's easy to let that stop you. But with unwavering conviction, you listen to your inner voice instead. You take the leap, prepared to face the hurdles because you trust your purpose more than you fear the unknown. Or picture a community leader standing up against corruption or injustice despite threats and social pressure to stay silent. They hold fast because they believe in something bigger than themselves. Justice, fairness, hope. Their conviction inspires others to stand up too, creating a ripple effect that changes the fabric of society. This kind of conviction also demands sacrifice. It asks you to put your ego aside, to accept loneliness at times, and to embrace discomfort. It means showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, because deep down, you know that quitting would mean betraying everything you stand for. There's also a lesson in patience here. Unwavering conviction is not about rushing or forcing outcomes. It's about steady persistence. It's about planting seeds, watering them, trusting the process. Even if the fruits aren't visible right away, that patience, combined with steadfast belief, leads to breakthroughs that seem impossible at first. Think about how many times in history movements succeeded because one person refused to back down. They held their ground while the rest hesitated, and slowly but surely, their conviction became contagious. People joined not because of charisma alone, but because they saw a resolve that could not be broken. Your own life might require this kind of conviction in small or big ways. Maybe it's pursuing a dream that feels out of reach, or standing up for what's right in a difficult situation, or simply believing in your own worth when self-doubt creeps in. The secret is this: unwavering conviction doesn't mean you never question yourself. It means you find a deeper well of belief beneath the questions. When you embrace this mindset, you become a force of nature. You stop being swayed by every opinion or obstacle. You turn failures into lessons, doubts into fuel, and resistance into momentum. Your conviction becomes a lighthouse, steady, bright, guiding yourself and others through the darkest nights. This is the kind of power that changes lives and shifts history. It's not loud or flashy, it's quiet but relentless. It's the kind of strength that keeps you moving forward, even when the world wants you to stop. And that, more than anything else, is what separates those who dream from those who do. Transformational leadership is one of those rare qualities that goes beyond just managing people or giving orders. It's about inspiring change, reshaping minds, and creating a vision so powerful that it pulls everyone forward together. It's not about being the loudest voice in the room or having the most authority. It's about embodying a purpose so strong and clear that others want to follow, not because they have to, but because they believe in the journey. Think about the leaders you've seen in everyday life who don't just hold a title, but move people to be better versions of themselves. It could be a teacher who doesn't just deliver lessons, but ignites a passion for learning, a coach who transforms a struggling team into champions by believing in their potential, or a friend who leads by example, showing kindness and courage that inspires others to act the same way. Transformational leadership is that magnetic force that changes the atmosphere wherever it goes. What makes transformational leadership mind-blowing is its ability to unite people with wildly different backgrounds and opinions under a single cause. Imagine a group of people who have been divided by conflict, rivalry, or simply distrust. A transformational leader steps into that chaos, not by forcing agreement, but by opening hearts and minds. They create an environment where people see themselves not as isolated individuals, but as part of a larger mission. A mission that transcends their differences and personal interests. This kind of leadership isn't about control, it's about empowerment. It's about planting seeds of confidence and responsibility in others so they grow into leaders themselves. You might see it in a small startup where the founder encourages every team member to take ownership, to innovate, and to speak up. Or in a community movement where a single person's vision inspires hundreds to volunteer, to stand up for what's right, and to believe that their actions matter. In daily life, transformational leadership shows up when someone chooses to focus on solutions rather than problems. It's the person who, instead of complaining about what's wrong at work or in their neighborhood, takes initiative. They gather others, share a clear vision of what's possible, and take steps to make it happen. Their enthusiasm becomes contagious, shifting the energy from frustration to hope. This kind of leadership also demands courage and vulnerability. It means being willing to admit when you don't have all the answers, to learn from mistakes, and to adapt. A transformational leader doesn't pretend to be perfect. They show their humanity and use it as a bridge to connect with others. That authenticity builds trust and loyalty in ways no command or strategy ever could. Imagine a scenario where a leader faces a crisis, maybe a company hit by sudden loss or a community struggling with division. A transformational leader doesn't crumble under pressure. Instead, they see the crisis as an opportunity to rethink, to rebuild stronger foundations, and to rally everyone around a new shared purpose. They communicate not just plans, but emotions and values that resonate deeply, making people feel seen, heard, and motivated. There's a motivational truth here that can change how you see leadership in your own life. Leadership is not reserved for those with fancy titles or massive followings. Anyone can be a transformational leader in their own sphere. It's about how you treat the people around you, how you face challenges, and how you inspire action by example. Maybe it's how you support your friends during tough times, how you encourage your coworkers to push through setbacks, or how you lead your family with patience and vision. This kind of leadership creates a ripple effect. When you inspire just one person to believe in themselves, that belief spreads. It grows like wildfire, changing not only individual lives but entire communities. It's the difference between simply managing day-to-day tasks and igniting a movement toward something bigger, something lasting. Transformational leadership also transforms the leader. When you take on the responsibility of inspiring others, you grow in empathy, resilience, and wisdom. It pushes you to look beyond your own fears and doubts and to trust the process of collective growth. It challenges you to keep learning, listening, and evolving, because true leadership is never static. The mind-blowing part is how this leadership turns ordinary people into heroes. People who never saw themselves as capable suddenly step up. Those who thought change was impossible become agents of transformation, and all because someone dared to dream and invited others to join that dream. It's like lighting a spark in a dark room. That one flame can illuminate paths for thousands. Think about your own life and the moments when you felt truly inspired by someone. Probably wasn't because they had power or wealth. It was because they made you feel like you mattered, like your efforts could create real change. Transformational leadership taps into that deep human need for meaning and belonging, making it the ultimate force for progress. When you live with this kind of leadership mindset, you start to see problems as opportunities, obstacles as chances to innovate, and setbacks as lessons in disguise. You understand that change doesn't happen overnight, but every small step forward counts. You become a catalyst, not just for your own success, but for the success of everyone around you. This vision of leadership challenges the way most people think about influence. It's not about controlling others, but about awakening the potential inside them. It's about building bridges instead of walls. It's about turning followers into leaders and dreams into realities. And when you grasp that, you realize leadership isn't just a role, it's a responsibility and a gift you carry every day. Ethical revolution is not just a grand historical phrase, it's a deeply personal journey that shakes the very foundation of how we live, think, and interact with the world around us. It's about standing up against the easy way, the convenient choice, and choosing what's right even when it's costly, unpopular, or uncomfortable. It's the courage to challenge old systems, long-held biases, and the status quo that no longer serves justice or humanity. Imagine waking up one day and seeing clearly the injustices that others accept as normal. It could be the unfair treatment of someone in your community, the silent suffering of the vulnerable, or the quiet compromises people make just to get by. What would it take for you to say no, not with words only, but with action? No to those injustices. This is the spark of an ethical revolution. The moment when a person refuses to be a bystander and instead becomes a force for change. This revolution starts inside. It begins with a choice to live with integrity, to align your actions with your deepest values. That means confronting your own weaknesses and blind spots, recognizing where you might have accepted injustice or unfairness, and deciding to do better. It's not easy. Society often rewards shortcuts, silence, or turning a blind eye. But the ethical revolutionary chooses the harder path because they know that lasting change comes from truth and courage. Think about people you admire in daily life, the ones who don't just talk about fairness or kindness, but live it. They refuse to gossip or spread hate, even when it's tempting. They stand up for the bullied, protect the powerless, and challenge corruption or dishonesty around them. These aren't superheroes with capes. They're ordinary people making extraordinary choices every day. Their lives are quiet revolutions. There's a mind-blowing power in ethical leadership because it transforms not just society but the individual. When you choose to live ethically, you tap into a wellspring of inner peace and strength. No longer weighed down by guilt or regret, you become a beacon of trust and hope. Others see it and feel it. Suddenly, your presence alone inspires better behavior and higher standards. This kind of revolution also rewires how you see success and achievement. It's not about wealth, fame, or power gained by stepping on others. It's about building a legacy of respect, fairness, and kindness. You begin to understand that true greatness is measured not by what you take, but by what you give back. This shift changes your goals and your relationships. You start to value honesty over convenience and empathy over ego. Imagine a workplace where ethical revolution takes root. It's a place where employees speak up against unfair treatment without fear, where leaders act transparently, and where collaboration replaces cutthroat competition. Productivity and innovation thrive because trust is the foundation. People don't just work for a paycheck, they work because they believe in the mission and each other. This shift can happen anywhere, in families, schools, businesses, even entire nations. There's a motivational truth in realizing that ethical revolution is contagious. One act of integrity can inspire another. One person refusing to accept injustice creates ripples that spread far beyond what they imagine. Think about a simple act, someone returning a lost wallet, standing up to a bully, refusing to cheat or lie. These moments accumulate and build a culture of trust, and cultures that value ethics become strong, resilient, and united. This revolution demands bravery. It means sometimes standing alone, facing criticism, or risking loss, but it also brings a profound sense of freedom, freedom from guilt, fear, and the chains of hypocrisy. Ethical revolution is about being true to yourself even when no one is watching, and that truth creates a power that can't be taken away. Daily life offers countless examples. A parent teaching their child about fairness, a teacher refusing to lower standards despite pressure, a friend calling out harmful behavior, or a stranger offering help when it's easier to look away. These moments are small revolutions that, when multiplied, reshape the world. It's proof that revolution isn't just for grand historical moments, it's in the choices you make every day. Embracing ethical revolution means accepting responsibility for your actions and their impact. It's about asking hard questions. Am I contributing to fairness or injustice? Am I honest with myself and others? Am I using my influence to uplift or to exploit? This kind of self-reflection fuels growth and keeps the revolution alive in your heart. What makes ethical revolution so powerful is that it creates a new way of seeing and being in the world. You begin to notice the invisible forces of injustice that many accept as normal. You see the potential for kindness and fairness everywhere, even in small interactions. Your choices ripple outward, influencing not just your circle but future generations. There's something deeply inspiring about living a life where ethics aren't an afterthought but the foundation. It creates clarity and purpose. A sense that what you do matters in the grand tapestry of humanity. It challenges you to rise above selfishness and complacency, to be a force for good in a world that often rewards the opposite. This revolution is not easy or quick. It requires patience, persistence, and sometimes sacrifice, but the transformation it brings to your life and the lives of those around you is profound. Ethical revolution is a quiet but unstoppable force that, once embraced, changes everything. The way you see yourself, others, and the future you're building. Strategic patience is one of those hidden superpowers that most people overlook because they confuse patience with passivity or weakness. But the truth is, patience combined with purpose and strategy becomes an unstoppable force. It's the art of waiting with intention, not just waiting out of fear or indecision, but waiting because you know exactly when to act and how to make every move count. It's a mindset that transforms waiting from wasted time into powerful preparation. Imagine planting a tree. You don't expect it to grow overnight. You water it, nurture the soil, and protect it from harm, knowing that real growth happens below the surface, out of sight. Strategic patience is like that. It's the deep root work that happens when you're not rushing for instant results, but building a foundation so strong that when the moment comes, your success is inevitable. Many people get frustrated because they want immediate results. They chase quick wins, get anxious when things don't happen fast enough, or jump into action without a clear plan. But strategic patience teaches you to resist that impulse. It says, wait, prepare, learn, and position yourself, then strike. It's the difference between throwing a punch in the dark and aiming a precise, powerful blow. Think about daily life examples. The student who studies diligently for years, not just cramming for exams, but mastering skills step by step, knowing their time will come. The entrepreneur who patiently builds relationships, refines their product, and waits for the right market moment rather than rushing into business without readiness. The athlete who trains consistently, resting and recovering, knowing that pushing too hard too fast leads to burnout or injury. There's a mind-blowing power in mastering strategic patience because it aligns with the natural rhythms of growth and success. It's not about giving up or procrastinating. It's about disciplined waiting. This kind of patience requires immense self-control and confidence in your vision. It means trusting the process even when you can't see immediate rewards. It's a deep faith in your own preparation. Imagine a chess player thinking 5 moves ahead, calmly waiting for the opponent's mistakes and the perfect opportunity to make a game-winning play. That's strategic patience in action. Not impulsive, not reactive, but calculated and deliberate. It teaches you to see beyond the immediate noise and focus on the bigger picture. This mindset changes how you handle setbacks, too. Instead of getting discouraged by delays or obstacles, you see them as part of the process, as signals to adjust your approach or deepen your preparation. It transforms frustration into resilience and uncertainty into clarity. In your own life, strategic patience might look like resisting the urge to quit a challenging job too soon, knowing that the experience and skills you're gaining will pay off later. Or it might mean holding off on making a big decision until you have more information and better timing. It's about balancing action with wisdom, energy with calm. The motivational truth is this: those who succeed aren't always the fastest or the loudest. Often, they're the ones who wait, watch, and act at the perfect moment with full force. They understand that timing can be as important as talent or effort. They build momentum quietly and then unleash it powerfully. There's also a psychological freedom in practicing strategic patience. When you stop fighting the natural flow of progress and start embracing it, you reduce stress and anxiety. You're no longer desperate for control, but empowered by preparedness. You learn to be present in the waiting, using that time for growth instead of worry. Strategic patience demands discipline. It's not passive waiting, but active readiness. It's about sharpening your skills, learning new things, strengthening your mind and body, and planning carefully. Every day you wait strategically is a day you become stronger and more equipped to seize your moment. Consider the long journey of anyone who made a lasting impact. They faced years, sometimes decades, of preparation, rejection, or silence before their breakthrough. Their patience wasn't about giving up on dreams. It was about holding on to them tightly and nurturing them until the right time came. This approach teaches a vital lesson about control. You can't control every outcome, but you can control how you prepare and when you act. Strategic patience puts you in the driver's seat, not by rushing, but by mastering the timing of your moves. Life often tests us with delays and obstacles, tempting us to act prematurely or lose hope. But those who master strategic patience realize that these moments are invitations to grow in wisdom and strength. It's the calm before the storm that allows the storm to be weathered with power. Embracing strategic patience means redefining success not as instant gratification but as long-term fulfillment. It's about building something that lasts, whether that's a career, a relationship, or personal growth, by moving thoughtfully and intentionally through each phase. When you live by strategic patience, you begin to see waiting as a skill, a strategic pause full of possibility. It changes your relationship with time and effort, teaching you that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to wait well, prepare deeply, and then act decisively at exactly the right moment. Lasting legacy is something that most people think of as a distant concept, something for the far future, or maybe even something only reserved for the great and famous. But the truth is, legacy isn't about fame or fortune. It's about the impact you leave behind, the echoes of your actions that continue to influence lives long after you're gone. Every small choice, every kind word, every moment of courage builds into something bigger than you can imagine. Legacy is not inherited. It's created, shaped every day by what you do, say, and stand for. Imagine a person who spends their life quietly doing the right thing, helping others, standing up for fairness, teaching without seeking recognition. To some, their life might seem ordinary, but the seeds they plant grow into forests of change. The people they touch carry forward those lessons, inspiring generations to come. That is the power of a lasting legacy, invisible to the eye at first, but unstoppable over time. Think about your own daily life. Maybe you've mentored a younger colleague, shared wisdom with a friend, or simply showed kindness to a stranger. Those moments might feel small or insignificant, but they ripple outward. The person you helped might pass that kindness to others who pass it further still. Legacy works like a chain reaction, one good deed becoming many, one positive influence growing beyond what you can see. There's a mind-blowing idea here. You don't have to be a world leader or historical figure to build a legacy that matters. Every parent, teacher, friend, and neighbor has the power to shape lives. Legacy is about the values you embody, the integrity you live with, and the love you share. It's about creating something that outlasts your presence, something that speaks to who you truly are. Imagine a craftsman who builds a chair. It might seem simple, but if that chair lasts for decades, becoming a family heirloom, it carries a story. It carries the maker's care, skill, and intention. Your life is like that chair. Each action is a piece of craftsmanship, and your legacy is the story told long after you are no longer here to tell it yourself. Lasting legacy also means living with purpose, knowing that what you do today matters not just for now, but for the future. It changes how you approach challenges and opportunities. When you think about legacy, you become less focused on quick gains and more focused on meaningful impact. It teaches patience and persistence because building something that lasts takes time and dedication. There's also a profound lesson about responsibility and legacy. It asks you to be mindful of your actions, knowing they ripple beyond the present moment. Your words can heal or hurt. Your choices can build or destroy. When you live with legacy in mind, you choose wisely. You become a guardian of values that matter: our honesty, kindness, courage, and respect. Daily life offers countless examples of legacy in action. A teacher who inspires students to chase their dreams, a community leader who fights for justice, a parent who models resilience and love, or a friend who always shows up when it counts. These legacies live on through the people touched, creating waves of influence that no obstacle can stop. The motivational truth is that legacy transforms how you see yourself and your role in the world. It shifts your focus from the self to the greater good. It reminds you that your life is a story unfolding, and you are the author. Every day gives you a new page to write, a new chance to build something enduring. There's also an emotional depth in legacy. It connects you to those who came before and those who will come after. It creates a sense of belonging to something larger than yourself. This connection can be a powerful motivator, a reason to rise above fear, doubt, and distraction. It grounds you in a purpose that outlives momentary struggles. Lasting legacy requires courage, because sometimes it means standing firm against trends, pressure, or temptation. It means choosing integrity over ease, truth over popularity. That courage is rewarded with a peace and fulfillment few experience. It's the satisfaction of knowing you contributed something real and lasting to the world. Think about the most inspiring people you know. What sets them apart isn't just what they achieved, but the way they made others feel, the principles they stood for, the hope they gave. Legacy is their invisible crown, carried quietly but powerfully, and that crown is within reach for anyone willing to live with intention. When you embrace the idea of lasting legacy, you start to see every moment as an opportunity, a chance to teach, to build, to inspire. You become more patient with setbacks because you understand the bigger picture. You celebrate small victories knowing they are bricks in a foundation. Legacy also challenges the way society measures success. It's not the wealth you accumulate or the titles you earn, but the lives you touch and the values you uphold. It's the positive difference made in families, communities, and hearts. That realization can be freeing, shifting focus from competition to contribution. Your legacy is your story, your gift, your impact. It is created quietly in the everyday choices and loudly in moments of great courage. It's a garden you tend with your actions, your words, your love, and like any garden, it flourishes with care, patience, and persistence, growing beyond your lifetime, shaping the future in ways you may never fully see. To bring this all together, remember this: greatness is not born from comfort or privilege, but from the fire of relentless struggle and unwavering belief. As the greats have said, the best way out is always through. When life pushes you down, when the world tells you to quit, that is your moment to rise. Every champion, every visionary legend you admire stood at that crossroads and chose to keep moving forward, not because it was easy, but because they knew that their destiny was forged in those very trials. There's a saying that success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. This courage, the quiet, steady heartbeat behind every achievement, is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. When you feel like giving up, remember that the people who changed the world didn't have a clear path, they made one. They embraced the unknown with a fierce determination, knowing that every setback was a lesson, every challenge a stepping stone. Think about the power in this truth. Your life is your story, your legacy in the making. You don't need permission to dream big or to act boldly. As one of the greatest minds once said, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Your potential is limitless, waiting to be unleashed by your decisions, your mindset, and your courage to act even when the odds seem stacked against you. Imagine if you could look back one day and say, I did not settle for less. I did not follow the easy road. I stood firm and fought for what I believed. That is the mark of a life truly lived. As a wise man once declared, it is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. The greatest battles we face are internal, battles against doubt, fear, and complacency. When you win those battles, the world becomes yours to shape. Remember, the journey to greatness is rarely a straight line. It is filled with detours, obstacles, and moments that test your resolve. But those moments are gifts in disguise, opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more prepared. Fall 7 times, stand up 8 isn't just a phrase. It's a way of life. Resilience is the secret weapon of those who achieve the impossible. Never underestimate the impact of your mindset. It is the lens through which you see your challenges and your triumphs. When you choose to believe in yourself, to trust the process, and to embrace every lesson, you become unstoppable. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That simple truth puts the power squarely in your hands. Your thoughts are the architects of your future. As you move forward, carry with you the understanding that patience, persistence, and purpose are your allies. Sometimes the world will demand quick results, but true success is built on foundations laid with care and intention. Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. Keep showing up, keep pushing, keep believing, because every step forward brings you closer to your vision. You have within you a wellspring of strength and potential that no circumstance can diminish. It is said, the only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Cast aside those doubts, embrace your journey with an open heart and a fearless spirit. Greatness is not just for the chosen few. It is for anyone willing to fight for it, to live it, and to become it. So stand tall in your purpose. Live boldly with conviction. Let every challenge be a teacher and every victory a reminder of your power. Do not wait to strike till the iron is hot, but make it hot by striking. Your time is now. Your story is unfolding. The legacy you build begins with the choices you make today. Believe in your fire, trust your journey, and never forget, the world needs your greatness.